Now we move on to specification number 3, which asks us to outline the role of fungi and bacteria in decomposition. Before discussing the specific roles of fungi and bacteria, it is important to understand what decomposition is. Decomposition is an essential process that recycles carbon and other nutrients within ecosystems. When plants and animals die, the organic matter in their bodies is broken down, allowing valuable nutrients to be returned to the environment so they can be reused by other organisms. The process begins immediately after an organism dies. The enzymes that were once controlled inside its cells start breaking down its own tissues in a process known as autodigestion. Soon afterwards, scavengers such as earthworms, insects, and blowfly larvae feed on the dead material, breaking it into smaller pieces and making it easier for microorganisms to continue the process. After the scavengers have done their part, fungi and bacteria take over as the main decomposers. They feed on dead plants, animals, and organic waste. These microorganisms release digestive enzymes onto the dead material, breaking complex substances down outside their bodies into simpler soluble molecules. They then absorb these nutrients and use them for growth and respiration. During respiration, both fungi and bacteria release carbon dioxide back into the atmosphere, helping to maintain the carbon cycle. Let us first look at the role of bacteria. Bacteria are major decomposers in ecosystems. After autodigestion has begun, bacteria continue breaking down the remaining organic matter by releasing digestive enzymes onto it. They absorb the soluble nutrients produced during digestion and obtain energy through respiration, releasing carbon dioxide into the atmosphere. Eventually, when bacteria themselves die, they are also decomposed, releasing important mineral ions such as nitrates, sulfates, and phosphates back into the soil or water. These nutrients are then absorbed by plants and reused for growth. Fungi perform a very similar role. They grow on dead organic matter and act as decomposers by secreting digestive enzymes onto the material. These enzymes break down complex substances into simpler compounds that the fungi absorb. Like bacteria, fungi also respire, releasing carbon dioxide into the atmosphere. When fungi die, they decompose as well, returning valuable nutrients, including nitrates and phosphates, to the environment where they can once again be taken up by plants. The speed of decomposition depends on several environmental factors. Temperature is important because warmer conditions increase enzyme activity and the rate of respiration in decomposers, causing dead material to decay more quickly. Water is also essential because decomposers require moisture for their metabolic activities. Oxygen plays a major role since most fungi and bacteria carry out aerobic respiration, making decomposition much faster when oxygen is available. In addition, the greater the number of decomposers present, the faster decomposition occurs. However, decomposition can also occur in environments where oxygen is absent. In these anaerobic conditions, decomposition is much slower because most fungi and bacteria cannot respire efficiently without oxygen. Only a limited number of anaerobic microorganisms are able to survive and continue the process. Since anaerobic respiration releases much less energy, decomposition becomes incomplete and considerably slower. Such conditions are commonly found in waterlogged soils and peat bogs. If decomposition remains incomplete for long periods, especially where oxygen is lacking, the carbon contained within dead organisms becomes trapped instead of returning to the atmosphere. Over millions of years, heat and pressure transform this stored carbon into fossil fuels such as coal, petroleum, and natural gas. As you can see in the diagram, matter is continuously recycled within an ecosystem. The cycle begins with the soil, which contains mineral ions and humus. Green plants, known as producers, absorb water and mineral ions from the soil through their roots. Using energy from sunlight, they carry out photosynthesis and produce biomass, forming the foundation of the food chain. Consumers, which are animals, obtain their nutrients and energy by feeding on plants or on other animals. As organisms live, grow, and eventually die, their remains, along with other organic waste, become part of the natural turnover within the ecosystem. At this stage, decomposers, mainly bacteria and fungi, break down the dead plants, animals, and organic waste through the process of decay. During decomposition, they convert complex organic matter into simpler substances and release mineral ions back into the soil. This process is known as mineral cycling. The recycled mineral ions are then absorbed once again by green plants, allowing the cycle to continue. This continuous recycling ensures that essential nutrients remain available in the ecosystem, supporting the growth of producers and, ultimately, all other living organisms. So, this brings us to the end of Unit 19.2, Nutrient Cycles. We have covered all the required syllabus specifications in detail and explored the key concepts needed for a strong understanding of this unit. Don't forget that the topical notes are available in both the description and the pinned comment for your revision and further study. Stay tuned for the next unit, where we will continue our journey through Chapter 19 and cover the remaining syllabus content step by step. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next lesson.